Alright guys, so when you think of Fernando Alonso, a couple of things instantly spring to mind. Two-time Formula 1 world champion, two-time Le Mans winner in his free time, and one of the greatest racing drivers all in all. But a terrible choice maker when it comes to any career moves whatsoever.
Amazing defensive driving by Fernando Alonso. His hand is out of the cockpit. Across the line they go. One of the closest finishes I can remember for many, many years.
He won his two world championships back in 05 and 06 with Renault. And even though Fernando is widely considered to be one of the greatest F1 drivers of all time, he hasn't won a world championship in 17 years. See, just from those stats alone, it's much too easy for new F1 fans to write Fernando off in the blink of an eye. But the truth is, the guy is so much more than his stats show. He's shown us more than enough times in the past that with the right car underneath him, he's ready to score podiums and win races. But any driver could do that. What separates Fernando from a lot of the other drivers is that he could also win and score podiums with the wrong cars.
This is one of the most beautiful. This is one of the most beautiful. We are so proud of you. So proud of you and of the team.
In 2012, back in his Ferrari days, he was given a car that was less than ideal given his capabilities, especially considering the fact that he was in his prime. The Ferrari F 2012 shocked the whole team when it first laid tires on track because of how simply bad it was. But throughout 2012, Alonso went on to contend for the title win, up against Sebastian Vettel, who was driving the far superior Red Bull RB8. He lost that year, obviously, but only by a microscopic 3 points. The fact that he lost is besides the point though, because the problem there wasn't Alonso's ability to race, it was his ability to choose a decent team. On the outside, Ferrari of course seemed like an amazing team to be a part of, considering their rich history in the sport of Formula 1 and their recent success at the time, with Kimi Räikkönen winning the 2007 World Championship. But clearly, regardless of all of that, it wasn't the right move. And that's been the story for pretty much every single one of Alonso's moves since 2007. First he went to McLaren, he had to contend with Hamilton and messy team politics, so they both lost out. He went back to Renault, they failed to make an even semi-decent car, so again he wasted another 2 seasons at Renault. Then of course he had his first time at the Prancing Horse, which were pretty much his greatest years in Formula 1, but they're often looked past because he didn't win any championships. And then he went right back to McLaren in 2015, which resulted in 4 seasons of just absolute pain.
I've got a slight smile at the moment, but it doesn't sound that you're enjoying Formula 1 too much these days. Will we see you in Formula 1 next year?
I don't know, there's still 6 races to go now, and I think we need to improve the situation, and we need to make sure that we are competitive and we are on top of our problems. There are a few areas that we need to improve, and the main priority now is working on those.
After that, he felt like that was all just a bit too much, so he retired from Formula 1. So in the meantime, he went on to compete in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, which of course he won twice, the Indy 500 and the Dakar Rally. So clearly, the man didn't take his retirement years to lay back and relax, he still had that need to race. So in 2021, Fernando rejoined F1 to become the most successful rookie there ever was. But yet again, his team held him back. The way I see it, Alpine, who of course were Renault a few years back, are and have been for a while the most mid-team you could possibly imagine. Their only real success as a team came back in 05 and 06 with who else but Fernando. And as an engine manufacturer, their years with Sebastian Vettel and Red Bull were pretty great. But otherwise, yeah, as mid as it gets. And to be honest, I don't see Alpine being anything more anytime soon. So it's no surprise that the most Alonso could accomplish in 2021 and 22 was a podium in Qatar. Now, I might be underselling it a little bit. That's the only podium he got with the team, but his performances were pretty stellar both seasons. On so many occasions, he showed the world of Formula 1 that he was still very much here to compete at the highest level. But unfortunately, his car in 2022 simply couldn't contend. Not that it was slow or anything, but it was just really unreliable. And so when the end of the season came, with Oscar Piastri in line for that Alpine seat, Alpine wanted Fernando gone in order to secure a seat for the young Piastri. So that's when we as fans got the most worrying announcement to ever grace the Formula 1 world. And that was Alonso's announcement to move to Aston Martin. If you don't know, Aston Martin have had a couple of rough seasons since the team's rebranding, but what really stood out was their 2022 season. They started off the year with one of the worst cars on the grid, and yeah, sure, they improved throughout the season and had a semi-decent second half of the year, but still, as good as it was to see improvements, you couldn't really expect to see that for much longer, given the fact that they've made a bit of a habit of making a bad car year after year now. But no, something's gone awfully well at Aston this year, and that's been proven by their insane performances in the first 3 races this season. Fernando has managed 3 podiums out of 3 races this year so far. I'm no mathematician, but a little birdie told me that equates to about a 100% podium rate for Fernando Alonso thus far. That's a banging start for any driver. And yet this guy is 41 going 42 soon and still at the very top of his game. All because he finally made a good decision when it comes to a career move. And it gets better. What Aston have managed to make this year has been using their old and outdated factory. And it's still an absolute beast of a machine. But right now they have a state-of-the-art £200 million factory in the works, and it's projected to be finished in about a month's time. So when you join the dots, you realize that with better facilities and the same team to operate them, Aston Martin is looking to have quite a future ahead of them together with Fernando Alonso. But now obviously it's up to them to keep up the momentum and not screw up, because we've seen that happen before. But anyway, to quickly summarize, yes, he did it. He made a great decision, which to most of us F1 fans came at a complete surprise. And to those who called it, come on, you didn't really believe it was gonna happen. You were just lying to yourself. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, leave a comment, support the channel through a subscription, and that's about it. God bless, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.